I am rudely eating, but let me finish. All right, so round 3 of the GT4 World Tour, ESR's first GT4 only series on ACC. Possibly did one on Race Room before this. Someone was saying we did. I don't
I do have
remember.
something to
I don't
corroborate
remember GT4 only.
the bug I experienced in a 3D speed race.
You have to hit drive before it hits 0 is the thing.
I have.
No, but there's a dead zone between 0. I think it's 10 seconds. You need to get on
I
before
did it like
that.
funny. You can see me turn my lights on before the timer counts down in the before this restart.
Well, then I have no idea.
Fluke, maybe bug.
The game just knows you're the spawn of Satan.
If you up this session start timer, it feels longer than normal, and I like it.
I'm digging the rain on the roof ambiance.
It was at least 3 minutes. Usually it's 2, I believe.
We're here in the Wet Laguna Seca, 3rd round of the series. I'm in the Audi, which is not an ideal car, but it is the one I chose.
I just
so gonna
suck
it up and roll.
Oh well.
It's actually not too bad in the rain, I would say. I think there are cars that are going to struggle more relative in the rain.
Alright, I'm going radio silence. Everyone have a good race.
You too.
Have a good race, everybody.
I'll be starting in 14th place. I think I'm in a similar pace boat to Bellotti, who's my roommate, but it pains me to say it, but Diego Alonso and Seth Chaney really do appear to have my number. But
P14.
It is
All right,
wet.
Michael, here we go.
And a tremendous amount of where you finish in the wet is going to depend on how often you screw up, how often those around you screw up, and that's really kind of it. But Laguna Seca in the wet is not for the faint of heart, as would, to be honest, make a lot of sense. This desert track does not have great drainage, and because it also has relatively considerable elevation changes, it also has the... Also forgot my glasses. It also has reasonably large puddles that start to form. There's one particular one that does concern me at the Andretti hairpin that was there mostly during practice. In qualifying, it seemed to have cleared up a little bit, so hopefully having the cars circle will reduce the problem.
Go!
Here we go. Car 17, drive-through penalty. That's up ahead of us.
Car left. Clear left.
This is where the pileup was on Wednesday.
Left side. Hold your line.
Keep it clean, keep it
Hold
clean,
your line.
keep it clean.
Still there. Clear left.
Side by side with Cole McRae. Oh, sorry, Cole.
Higgs is now in the lead.
And took a bit of a plonk behind me.
P16.
How's the car doing?
Left side. Clear left.
We'll look on this when we hit the rail straight. 40 seconds.
Oh. Yellow flag.
I am wondering if part of the reason the pit times are so high is the refueling on the GT4s being... Whoa!
Car left.
I expected to see
Hold your
something,
line.
but I didn't expect a completely stationary car.
Clear left.
rainy curve is really difficult in the rain, for the record. Not normally a race-defying curve, or turn, but in the wet, it really is. Okay, I don't remember who car 1 is. Oh, Jeff Wentworth's breathing.
14th.
Sorry to talk. Is there a car sitting in sector 2?
Turcotte.
Car left. Clear left.
Okay, Michael, the next car is Alonso.
I'm pondering how, with an admin command, you could remove Turcotte without a
Middle of the
straight-up
track where he started.
DQ.
Alright, I'll just pull over and kick him. Yeah.
Yellow flag, watch out.
Car right. Clear right. Clear all round.
I really
Leader's
wish
pitting now.
I didn't have a theory that Tony Yimbo is totally going to dive me on the inside of Corkscrew, which is a bad idea at the best of times. It's an even worse idea in the wet. So, got air to Tobin in the TC-less. By the way, the drive-through car is still not service
P12.
penalty. It is the number 17 Porsche. I know Matt Higgs, I think, is in a Porsche. Guillermo Martinez is as well. That could be it. Could be Martinez. He's at the front of this queue, and that would work. So it is Guillermo, who's sitting on a drive-through penalty. This corner too, very difficult. I mean, in the wet, the usual difficult turns become more difficult. Corkscrew, kink, Andretti hairpin. The last turn, which to my knowledge does not have a name. These are all ones that define your lap.
Your front brakes are getting a bit hot. The gap behind is now 0.8.
Dry, but in addition to those turns, there is now rainy curve.
Right side. Clear right.
Because you really don't want to brake for rainy curve, but it is really throwing me, at least me anyways, really close to the sand. Went off a couple of times there in qualifying and practice. Sadly, we overtake Guillermo, who is probably going to go serve his penalty. So up to 11th place now.
All right, Michael, there'll be chances here. Let's make sure we can take them. P11.
Tobin. I'm pondering, to be honest, if the TC-less Maserati is a good idea in the wet or a bad idea. I think it would be a terribly bad idea if you're not used to the car. But if you're used to the car, you're used to controlling slippage.
We think your pit window for refuel will open after 12 minutes and closes after
I'm a little worried about my
26
fuel,
minutes.
actually. Not that I don't have enough, but that I don't have enough to give me the
You're
flexibility
reeling
that I
Tobin
normally would
in.
want.
The gap is 1.2 seconds.
We'll find out. We will find out. I forget how long the pit window is here. It's 10 or 20 minutes. I want to say it should be 10, but I think the field has been pushing towards like longer pit windows, basically to avoid the Basically, to avoid the penalty of someone running into you and you having to pit out of sequence. Or not out of sequence, but out of window. Which would put you out of sequence, but...
Right, the guy ahead of us is
the window's the
Tobin.
more important part. Oh, Tobin got shaky. 37.3, 38.4, 38.8, 38.3. Hey, we were faster than Cole and Tobin. Although Cheney is running away with it. I really don't know how fast I can go around here because in both qualifying and practice, I couldn't find what you would call a consistent lap time. Like my qualifying lap had a weak third sector to it. And, you know, I could add up what is my ideal lap, but with all the mistakes being made, I honestly don't know if the ideal lap or anything really even close to it would be overly possible in these conditions. Ayrton going a little wide. He'll get a little track cut, but probably no time gained. Drive through for car 105, speeding in the pit lane. That won't help us, or won't help me, because car 105 getting a penalty for speeding in the pit lane implies they have been to the pits in the first 10 minutes of the race and are probably quite a ways back. But I am putting up some good lap times here, at least by my modest standards. And I'm reeling in. Oh, it's Jeff Wentworth. Probably picked himself up a penalty while he was doing admin. Thanks, Cole McRae, a little off at the Andretti hairpin. His McLaren is going to be pretty hard to overtake because it has got a lot of straight line speed, and even at non-power based tracks such as this one, like it or not having a power advantage over somebody, or at least being at a power disadvantage, is always going to be a bit hard to overtake. Very careful into the kink. Or he could do that and spin off. Hopefully he doesn't collect us on his rejoin. He doesn't. Good, good, good. And, well, that's the top 10. And of course, how much do I want to plan my pit strategy to possibly just overtake Tobin? What's the fuel usage at? We've used up 12 liters. And we're a quarter of the way through the race. Does look like it's a 20-minute pit window.
10th position.
My webcam covers up the pit window counter. Otherwise, it's just going to be too high up. I do have a new webcam coming, which, if it's any good, I'll because the old webcam on my other computer is being a bit of a bitch. Working and then not working. Checking back, Cole McRae is behind it, about 4 seconds. Honestly, I think I would have been okay with Jeff Wentworth just clearing his own penalty. As Cole makes a mistake at the kink, and we go through. Or not
Well
Cole,
done, Michael. Good
Tobin.
pass. Eyes front.
The great Ayrton Tobin, who when I first met in Race Room, I was sure was a fake name. Still kind of sure, not gonna lie. Figured he was a big fan of Ayrton Senna. But it is always possible that his parents were just big fans of Senna. Because I'm pretty sure it's a Portuguese name. Alright. Did some fairly consistent
E9.
laps. That one was a little slow, but that's because I had to sidestep around a car. Andretti hairpin is incredibly inconsistent. So, while I'm complimenting the fact that overall I've been able to be consistent, I am not consistent turn to turn. Seth Chaney's next up. He's been doing 37s this whole time. I don't think I can catch him on pace. I'd have to do something interesting on strategy, or he'd have to make a mistake.
The gap to Tobin behind is now 1.1
Kind of similar to what it was at the end of the 3D speed race here, because in that one too I was running him down. Oh, mistake. Keep an eye behind me. It's like Tobin not close enough to do anything with this, although Cole catching up to us pretty rapidly. He's gone from being 4 something behind to 2 something behind.
You've got half your fuel
That
left.
could just mostly be this lap though, which is going to be a slow one. A mid 39. Cheney did a 39 flat, so he's not capable of doing 37s on command. But still, if his off lap is going to be, within a second of my best lap, and his good laps are going to be, a half second or more up on mine, there's not really a way to catch him. It's not like I'm doing 38s every lap around. We just did 39.7. Messing up at turn 8 corkscrew. I'm hoping Tobin can hold up Cole.
The gap in front has increased to 8.8 seconds.
Because I don't like my chances dogfighting with a McLaren 570. That thing is just too fast in a straight line to think that without a pace advantage and without a power advantage I could hold him off. Pit stops beginning. Cliff Hemian in. Plenty of fuel left for me. Benny in as well. Yimbo's behind me, so I assume Cole and Tobin
P7
dove in for pit stops, which means I'm on the overcut, and I need to deliver. That off doesn't appear to have damaged the car in any way. Tires are responding fine. They're not having a problem.
Cool.
Cheney's up to 10 seconds ahead. I particularly don't want to pit right now because you can see Skylar Castor, who has pitted, is in amongst us. I worry that I would be in among... Well, probably
Higgs
would be.
is pitting from position 2. We think he'll be close in front of you when he exits. 10 minutes of fuel remaining.
Not beating Higgs today.
The leader has just done a 136.13.
He's was so dominant in the GT3s, and I can't imagine that the GT4 race is going to slow him down
The
that
car in
much.
front is pitting.
Cheney's in. So we stay out. Oh, Tobin. So yeah, I'm like 20 seconds, something seconds off of Tobin, who pitted.
P5.
So the pit stop does put you a fair ways back. I want to get at least 2 more laps here. We're doing pretty decent lap times, low 38s. Again, the leaders are doing like 36s, and I think probably a 35 will pop up at some point. So, you know, on a race-winning note, slow, but on a track that I don't have any history of success on, in a car that I shouldn't bag on the car. I'm going to, but I want to make it clear that, like, you know, no one picked the car for me. I picked it. It was it was my own assessment that it wasn't very good, but I just wanted there to be an Audi in the field. I was hoping some more like fast drivers would pick some more off cars, kind of like Justin Swan did with KTM, and to a degree Paul Riccobeni with the Camaro. Because the strong cars in this class are the McLaren, the Mercedes, Aston Martin, Porsche. Those are I think the big 4 in ACC, not necessarily in real life. Go for another one, another 2 probably. Actually, I want to get to the halfway point. Always helps with the fuel calculation. And we do have about 4 laps of fuel on board still, so, you know, there is that. Also, tire warmers. These cars don't get them. So coming out of the pits is going to lead to some very bad lap times. Which is why I don't necessarily think that makes the overcut better. It just, I don't think there's any inherent advantage to the undercut when you have such cold tires coming out of the pits. And Cole McRae did not pit. He just had an incident, I think. Because he is still showing behind me, but it is by some 15 seconds. So, one would think I can cover him off. I need to talk less. This lap has been bad.
The lead car's pitting.
Also, if I stay out long enough, I can, you know, lead a lap. Okay, approaching the halfway point. I've used up 23 liters. Means I'm overfueling by a fair bit at the pit
That's
stop.
20 minutes to go. P3. Okay, Michael, we're halfway home. Should be about 5 minutes of fuel remaining. That's good consistency. Keep it up.
I have it set up to put in 25 liters. I think I'm going to go down to 20.
Take the inside, Paul.
Thank you.
Especially if it saves time in the pit stop. How are the tires? Tires are pretty good. Fronts are on the edge of their ideal window. That being said, the track is getting colder, so that will help.
The gap in front is now 14 seconds.
Might add
That's 5
a
minutes
click
of fuel
to the rear.
left.
Do I pit this lap?
The car ahead's pitting. The gap behind is now 14 seconds.
Let's go one more. Last couple of laps have not been very good, though, so this might be a mistake.
P2.
But I don't think it's because the car's tires are gone or whatever. It's just, it's a wet track, and it's hard to deal with. I can go one more after this, but I probably will not. John Archie has stayed out. Got a clear track. You could argue that I could stay on another lap, but that would be flirting with the fuel. I don't like to pit with just one lap of fuel left. It always, you know, it doesn't leave room if something screws up. We also did not hear leaders pitting, so it's not like I could get a lead lap in.
Watch your speed. Okay, Michael. You should be coming out into clear air. We expect to exit the pits in position 9, a few seconds behind P9.
Screwed up the pit stop a little bit. Alright, so I'm going to get up and move around a little bit. Because I've got that DBS. It's the advantage of having a slightly longer pit stop, actually. You can do some exercises.
Thank you.
Alright, let's get back in the car. Ignition on.
The leader is pitting now.
So Archie is in. Hemian ahead of me. Seth Cheney got about 10 seconds on me. Not surprising.
His exit's clear.
He was beating me up. Cole in. So I come out
Brake
in
temps are
ninth
good.
place. And no one really near me, so I don't know if I executed that perfectly, and I definitely did screw up my pit entrance. I think you'll see me screw up a lot of pit entrances these days because I desperately want to get out of the chair and stretch. Kids don't get dead butt syndrome. It's
Your front brakes are getting a
it's
bit hot.
comically named, but it does suck. Be careful until the tires get up to pressure. They're up to temperature already, which is good. But only one is currently in the pressure window. Which I'm surprised is one of the rears, because the rears were the ones that were not headbutting the pressure ceiling. Cole McRae's still in, so something wrong with his car. That is a shame. As much as I wasn't really looking forward to fighting with that McLaren, car 11, that's Cole. So,
Thanks, Brock.
getting worse.
P9.
Not really anywhere near anyone. Good lead over Tony Yumbo. Quite a ways behind Cliff Hemian. So, barring mistakes, should be where I finish. if I should tell Cole to not worry about the blue flag. Problem is see, if he was up to speed, I'd tell him not to worry. But he's clearly also stumbling. You can see the car moving, which is a bit weird because I mean we're on what? My second lap out of the pits, and the tires are already in the pressure zone. Oh, he left. That's a shame. Or he went back to the pits. You know what? It could be. Could have just straight up had damage. He was in the pits for a very, very long time. I wonder if he had unfixable damage. I still would have stayed in if I were him. I mean, if you drive a damaged car, especially in the wet, people will
You're pulling away from the guy behind. The gap's now 13 seconds. E9.
I don't know what the gap to Yimbo is doing. It's getting a little weird. It's kind of moving around a lot. I don't know what's up with that. So he's doing 39.1, and he's under pressure from Tobin.
Sorry, Archie.
Might be able to get a 37 here. Got 10 laps of fuel.
All good.
12 minutes to go. Let's see, at 12 minutes, it's going to be what? Let's see here, 9 plus a half. Be about 14. I'm cutting it a little narrow. I did calculate 52 liters for the race. And the pace has been about right, but the fuel usage has been a little bit lower than expected. I believe my figure was 1 point or 2.1, and we're doing 1 point, basically 1.9. So the practice figure was wrong. Actually, the qualifying figure was wrong.
E9.
Well, which is strange because those are the low fuel laps. I expected them. I mean, the qualifying figure is also wrong, but we're actually getting better fuel mileage in the race than in practice or qualifying. It's interesting. Tobin has gotten past Yimbo. See, it's weird. They've gone to like being 14 seconds behind me again after being 18.
All right, Michael. 10 minutes to go. That's 10 minutes left.
So I'm a little confused. What's going on with the timing there? Because it wasn't a great lap, and this lap hasn't been great either. But we know Tobin's pace, and it's not multiple seconds. Careful, careful, careful. There we go. In the wet... I think they largely failed to replicate how hard that would be to do in the wet, actually, because it's not that hard. Very uncomfortable in this weather.
P9.
Saw this last season in 3D speed at Brands Hatch. Okay, I'm gonna have some blue flag traffic in the form of David Brogg. Not terribly soon though, he's 25 seconds ahead. He's charling along in 17th. Good to have David Brock back. He's gone for a while. Had to deal with
Thank you.
some non-racing stuff. I would like to get a 37. Also, the grid just gained a car. Interesting. Somebody who left is back. Because Cole has dropped a place. There we go, 37.
Okay, Michael, there's a car exiting the pits. Heads up.
37.6.
P9.
Seven laps of fuel still on board. 7 minutes to go. We are good. No need to fuel save. Honestly, not really any way to fuel save in these conditions. The can't turn the motor down. Just one ECU mode.
Thanks, Rick.
And frankly, I'm already kind of coasting and lifting in most of these corners just because of the lack of grip. This is not how I would drive Laguna Seca in the dry. This looks a lot like Laguna Seca dry fuel saving, to be honest with you. Could turn up the TC, but it would really kill me out of the last corner. We're not having a lot of slipping moments, if I'm being honest.
That lap was a 137.77.
My mistakes have been very much not TC fixable, as it were. They are, to quote the, there's a little setup guide thing that I sometimes use. It's an image with like a flow chart of like if car is doing this, you know, this, and there's one thing.
Okay, Michael, 10
which
minutes
is,
of fuel remaining.
Lift off oversteer. It says it's picnic. Problem in chair, not in car.
That's 5 minutes to go.
So,
5 minutes.
My mistakes around here have been picnic mistakes, not car mistakes.
You son of a bitch.
Something going on for Paul Riccobeni. Just adjusting the volume on my headset a little bit. There's another sub 138. Putting together some good laps here at the end. Actually catching up to Cheney, but one is not going to make up 20 seconds in 3 minutes. Leaving Tobin behind, who's running low 38s. Which are solid lap times. Let's put it this way, I would not be mad at myself for running a 38-1. 3 more laps. Got enough fuel plus a lap. But, to be honest, I did cut it a little closer than I think I would recommend. I think the yellow flag is. The yellow flag is Dave Brock. We're getting closer to him. Yeah, there he is, off track.
There's a white flag.
Boo, the end of my 37 streak is here. 38.115. If he's
On your right,
letting me
clear right.
through, or he just made a mistake. It turned into a letting me through, whether intentional
Just
or not.
2 minutes left, 2 minutes to go.
Drive through for Cole. That's what Cole gets for practicing without a pit limiter. He was doing the there's a speeding in the pit level that you can do in practice and qualifying that doesn't result in getting teleported. And he was doing it buzzing by people in the pits like, 10, 15 kilometers faster than them. And I wonder if that has completely ruined his mental calibration for the pit lane. So scary. I will never say rainy curve is an easy curve again. I have now experienced it in the rain.
B9.
Could be the last lap. Depends if I'm 50 seconds behind the leader.
Yellow flag in sector 2.
To be honest, have no idea. I was gonna say, can we get
Okay, Michael. 5 minutes of fuel remaining. 5 minutes.
one more? We have our answer. It's gonna be a slower lap. Although the fastest lap I have up there actually does not have a very good third sector, so I could probably pull it back to about 2 to 3 tenths off, to be honest, probably. Not that it matters, we're just basically time trialing against myself. Oh, bad run through rainy. Never mind, at this point I'll take under a 39. This lap was bad. You see what I mean? Did take about 2 tenths off in the last little bit.
One more lap to go.
That was my worst lap of the stint. I have to look it up on Race App afterwards. Problem is some of these turns just have such wet apexes. So the goal is just to get her to the end. Maybe profit from some penalties, maybe get one myself. I did give Cola shunt in the... I think it was Cole anyways. Go back and review. Aside from that, it was a clean race. Oh, don't give me that track limit shit. Real talk, I think in the wet, track limits just cease to be a thing. I mean this in all seriousness. Look at the area around the track and tell me if you want to drive on it. And we go. Ship down. Cross the line. Finish in style with another 37, I think? Nope. Couldn't get off the last turn clean enough.
14th.
And we finished
there we
with a
go, it's
38.
over. Bring it back round.
Oh, I'm back up to 90 on safety rating. Nice. Being a mid-pack driver always leads to some not particularly amazing safety ratings. Give the track a once more over. Since actually feeling fairly physically decent. Also pretty happy with the result. 9th place. Showing 7th now, but I think it's just because people left. We've lost 3 cars. Looks like did Paul Rick and Benny win? In the Camaro.
Is everyone done?
Really? Everyone is done.
What did I get a penalty for?
Speeding in the pit lane, according to the...
But I cleared that 3 times, or whatever.
You might have gotten a 4th one.
It didn't tell me about it, so whatever.
Ugh. Hey,
Garbage
Paul,
can
at
is
least they
garbage.
crash.
You can watch my onboard and figure out the number, I guess. Because it popped up on my HUD.
Paul, when you exasperated, I was afraid that meant you disconnected there.
No, Cole decided to cross both sides of the track directly in front of me on the straight after turn 4. I almost shit myself.
Look out
Sorry
for the
about
pit
that.
speed limit.
So at least you didn't crash.
Oh,
That's not true.
That is a
Not
hard
Cole,
pit
I
entry.
mean Paul.
Yeah.
Maybe he was trying to foot you.
I'm so bummed. Right as Paul pitted, I went long and I lost like 2 seconds. And then as I went into the pits, I missed my box. I had to back up, and then it wouldn't put me up. And I had to shut off my thing, and I was like, ah.
The pit is so confusing. There's 2 different stop signs. I never know which one it is.
It's both.
The game doesn't know apparently, because I literally on the last my last attempt to solve my drive-through, I literally stopped at the pit entrance and then went 30 kilometers an hour the entire way, just to absolutely make sure. And apparently that didn't work. So.
Do you have a limiter on? I have the
Yes.
auto limiter. Try that.
I don't have auto limiter on, but like
Put
the
auto
first 2
limiter on.
times, the first 2 times
I feel that the man with the manual pit limiter is getting speeding in the pit lane penalties and no one else is. Might suggest you might want to try the auto limiter.
But I shouldn't have to. So like, I mean,
I use
unless
manual.
it penalizes you for not having the limiter on and instead of going the speed limit, because like the last time I literally stopped.
What speed limit are you using?
The one that's pit speed limiter.
I'm just making sure.
How many speed limiters are there?
No. What?
A pace car, man.
You're saying you're not turning on the limiter. So what is the speed you're doing in the pits?
Well, the first couple of times I did turn the speed limiter on, and I was going 50 kilometers an hour. The third time, I literally stopped at the pit entrance. Let me finish.
48 or 49.
Let me finish. I stopped at the pit entrance. Literally stopped at the entrance. Like, didn't cross the line. Stopped. Then proceeded to go 30 kilometers an hour the entire way. Like, in a desperate attempt to get it to clear somehow. And it still apparently gave me another one without telling me, so.
I think you have to stop in your pit spot to clear a drive-through.
No, you don't.
No, that's a stop and go, I think.
That's a stop go. Drive through is from one end of the pits to the other.
So I guess I just was doomed to get a penalty that one.
Wait. Did you have a drive through or did you have a stop go?
I saw a DT I mean, apparently it's pick and choose on it. It picks and
Because
chooses what it wants to tell you, I suppose.
I don't know about ACC obviously, but in real life, if you speed in the pit lane multiple times, it will start to give you more severe penalties. Like
I mean, I saw DT.
Like in F1, if you get a drive-through and then you do the exact same thing, it will become a stop-go. So I'm wondering if maybe at the end what you had was a stop-go, not a drive-through. But
Well, if I had one of those, it didn't tell me about it.
Easy enough to check. We can look at the recording or the replay.
Yeah.
We'll find out. But
I mean, not like it really matters.
That is
My game
a
crashed
potential
twice,
theory.
So that's why it kept saying we started playing at ACC, and I'm like, wait, what?
But I would also suggest just using the pit limiter because the speed limit
I do use the pit limiter.
The speed limiter is kind of annoying because, I mean, for example, the Audi keeps you at 48, so I'm thinking the 50 speed limit is very, very touchy. It would explain why so many of the GT4s have like lower pit limiters than the actual limit.
Is there a way to manually adjust that then? Is that what I have to do?
No.
Like manually turn this? Okay, well.
There's probably an explanation.
So my procedure for using this speed limiter is decelerate to pit speed limit by the time I get to the thing, press the speed limit button before then, and then just mash the throttle. Correct?
Correct.
Okay, so.
Depends what gear you're in. I think if you're in gear 2,
I'm in first.
you can get engaged. Okay.
If he wasn't
the
in
speed limiter only functions first.
Yeah, it only functions in gear 1. I don't know. We'd have to look at it though.
Likewise.
But I would say this is sort of why I use the auto speed limiter.
I've gotten enough
I guess. I mean, the first one I'll take it because it crashed when I was doing my pit, and when I got back in, I forgot to turn it back on. So I can see that I might have accidentally sped the first time, but the second and third times like I said, the last time I literally stopped and went 30 kilometers an hour, and it's still, I guess it didn't. It told me it cleared it, but I guess it didn't. It didn't actually.
Pit? Mandatory pit? Did you do the mandatory pit?
Well, it crashed while I was pitting, so that's a possibility.
Okay, that's probably why it gave you the 130 seconds at the end, because if the game crashed, it wouldn't. I don't think it cleared it.
Piece of garbage.
That would do it.
Piece of garbage. Oh well, whatever.
He's braking kind of early, but I still hit him. That's still. There's no result there, so probably won't get reported, but I could see some like reprimand or something coming my way off of that. So that was Laguna Seca in the wet. Had a better result than I thought because, I mean, to be honest, I was aiming for like maybe +1 from my grid spot because I thought, frankly, that there would be absolutely no ability to go up. I didn't think I had the pace. I still don't think I had the pace, but I maintained a fairly consistent, fairly safe pace, and that did it. So that was good. Got the job done. So where am I? Where am I? I'm just pulling up the standings here to see if there's any, if I can figure out where I maybe sit. It's not been amazing. Never tried, so don't know. But just, I don't know, put 1 in and see if it works. He lost connection would be my assumption. We're talking about it though. Interesting. I've never seen that one. So I'm in 15th place with 2 non-top 10s and got that one. On the bright side, I came into this race tied with Diego Alonso and Jeff Wentworth, and I beat them. I also beat Tony Yimbo. I think I beat Bellotti as well. Beat Cole, so might be able to move up a fair bit. There's a lot of points here. 9th place is 66 points. So we could see. We can see what happens. We'll see you tomorrow, actually, with World of Tanks. Is the plan. Backup plan is Mech HQ. So there you go.